Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PokerStrategy.com Team Liquid Star League. I am Artosis. Alongside me, looking awfully handsome today, Tasteless.
Well, shucks. Thank you, Dan. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It's good to be with you guys. This is the third and fourth place match here, and we have two very impressive players duking it out.
Yeah, we do, man. These guys are so good. We got Sen, we got JF, and it's an just say the prize pool for this: third place 2.5 thousand US dollars, and fourth place 1,000 US dollars. So a huge difference, and these two guys definitely want to be this match.
Yeah, no matter what, you're going to leave with something, whether that's some money or some money and a bronze medal. You're going to leave with something here. But most of all, of course, it's really just the notoriety. I mean, the foreigner scene, let's face it, it's a lot larger as far as many people that can compete outside of Korea. But when you get like Sen and JF, these guys both have big reputations. So I think when you see these two guys duking it out, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be more about passion. And of course, with StarCraft 2 around the corner, this is probably, unless I'm mistaken, depending on when the actual game is released, one of the last, if not the last, big StarCraft tournament they can finish in.
Okay, and let me just mention again the prize pool here. It is for third place $2,500, and for fourth place $1,000. A big difference there. We're going to see an excellent match because of it, no doubt about it. Let's go ahead and take a look at this map order. First map, we have Fighting Spirit, followed by Destination, then Outsider SE, if needed, Neo Tornado, and, you know, if the stars align and we get to go on to Game 5, we get Andromeda, the worst map of the bunch.
The worst map of the bunch, indeed. Fighting Spirit going to be our first map, the newest map besides Neo Tornado on the scene. I think that's going to be pretty cool, and I look forward to that game.
Yeah, I do too. Now, let's take a look at these players a little bit closer. Let's take a look first at Sen. This guy, I love this guy, Tasteless. I know that you have met him a lot of times, just as I have. We've gotten to hang out with him all over the world, and he is a totally cool guy. I mean, he's just so nice. It kind of reminds me like a Zerg Whiteraw, very old, old school, not, as old as Whiteraw. He doesn't have grandchildren yet or anything. But this guy, he's been a ghost who's been around the scene forever. Very nice guy. Very talented Zerg player. And look at that, man. Every time he plays in WCG Grand Finals, he makes it into the bracket stage, which is quite impressive.
He also mysteriously ends up with a WCG flag instead of the Taiwanese flag. Of course, that's a joke here at the TSL because in WCG China, we had to change the flags there because he is a Taiwanese player. But look, I think Sen, honestly, one of the best players in Asia outside of Korea. I think he's a real threat.
This guy
to anybody who's trying to compete against him.
He is a complete sicko, man. And just for those of you out there who are following StarCraft 2 at all, the beta, of course, just released about a week and a half ago. And Sen is one of the highest ranked players on the Asia server. So despite preparing for the TSL match, he is really active on StarCraft 2 as well. And he is over here dominating, just like he does in StarCraft 1. So this kid, unbelievable amounts of talent. A great macro Zerg. Now let's take a look at JF.
JF, of course, known for his great Reaver control. He is most importantly, though, the winner of the first TSL. So, of course, he has quite a reputation behind him. Unfortunately, he won't make it to the finals, but he does have a chance to at least get that bronze medal here. And it's going to be a tough fight against somebody like Sen.
I think that the Sen JF match, it's a hard one because Sen is such a macro player. such a solid old school player.
Yeah,
While
yeah.
JF, he's a micro player. Yeah, he can macro quite well, but more of a micro player. I think he's better at picking apart people that are a mid range of macro. The true macro players, when they get going, I think JF has a hard time against them. So JF, he's got a lot of skills, but against Sen, I feel like it's a little bit of a mismatch for him.
Yeah, I got to agree. I mean, if I was somebody like Sen, I would have very little experience against somebody like JF, who seems to have materialized out of nowhere. So I'm a bit curious to see who's going to win in this. Frankly, I don't know if there's really a favorite for this match. I think it should be pretty even. What I do know is it's going to be pretty exciting.
Definitely going to be exciting. Tasteless, let's look at the first map, Fighting Spirit. You were saying you're excited about this. Tell us about PVZ on this map.
PVZ, we should expect a fast expansion here from the Protoss, but of course, you got to note that the Zerg can get that easy third base, usually nearby their first expansion. It's not too hard to secure and defend with sunken colonies. We can expect a long game, but you never know when you get players this good. Sometimes timing attacks can penetrate the other player's base and wreck the other guy.
Truly, it can. Tasteless, this is an exciting match.
Artosis, oh my god.
Tasteless, I think that we should go.
I think we should do this. Are you guys ready? Let's do this. This is the TSL third, fourth place match with Sen and JF. Let's do it.
Go, go, go. All right, here we are. This is the PokerStrategy.com Team Liquid Star League. I am Artosis. Next to me is Tasteless. This is the third and fourth place match. Winner of this is going to get $2.5 thousand, and the loser of this only 1,000. It's hard to say only in front of 1,000, Tasteless. But let's introduce our players. The map, Fighting Spirit. In the top right, we have the Protoss player JF. Bottom right, we have the Zerg player Sen, and we see that JF complained about a little bit of lag in the beginning of this game. Sen, he is from Taiwan, so it's a little bit laggy over there for him sometimes.
Taiwan and Russia, of course, there are locations that do tend to be a little bit laggier. In fact, this is one of the reasons why the Chinese players tend to play with only Chinese players when they're training within StarCraft 1, because the latency issues do come into play.
Right. We see that JF, he is scouting down. He's going to find Sen right away, whereas Sen's Overlord going in the wrong direction. But JF's already set up that pylon outside of his expansion, obviously going for the quick expand. We never see Protoss really do anything else on four-player maps anyways.
We are seeing that early expansion, as you said. You got to be careful on these one-on-one maps, these four-player maps. Because on a one-on-one map, you can scout them right away. On a four-player map, if you don't, and in this case he did, if you don't find your opponent right away, you got to get that forge out early. In this case, it's going to work in JF's favor because he does find his opponent. He does, of course, see the early pool, and from there he's going to be able to dictate his build in a very safe and efficient manner.
Yeah, you see starting out with a 12 pool, JF answering with forge first. And I think he's actually going to be able to make the Nexus before any cannons. Isn't that right? Or are these positions a little bit closer than I'm thinking?
Well, you might want to count Larva, but you usually can make the Nexus. But again, it's all about the Larva. most of the time when you get in big money matches like this, the player is most likely going to play it safe. They're not going to do all-in stuff, especially when it's somebody like JF and Sen, who are pretty established and are known for getting far in tournaments. We do see 2 larvae saved up. We do see a 3rd on the way, but no extra hatchery. At the same time, though, of course, when you look at Sen's map, there's no Overlord that has scouted his opponent yet.
Oh, look at this. We have at the bottom left natural. Sen has made a hatchery there, so that could be confusing to JF just a little bit. I was wondering why his minerals were piling so high, and that is why. I like this strategy, to be perfectly honest with you. This is going to set him up in a position where JF is going to have to get some sort of damage in, or Sen is going to be able to go up to 4 bases really, really easily.
Yeah, Sen is a pretty smart player. If I remember right, still under the management Ash, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes.
Right now, I think Ash is a great guy for that scene, by the way.
He is the greatest manager the Foreigner StarCraft scene has ever had.
I really think so. He's very smart.
And people should thank him. I want to bring this up before we continue. Without Ash's influence, Sen would probably still be inactive.
Yeah. Ash, a great coach for Sen. You know, I actually met Ash first time in Singapore in my first big international broadcast, and he was just becoming kind of enveloped in the scene. But yeah, Sen certainly wouldn't be here without him. We want to thank Ash for that, and I think Ash's presence is going to be pretty big in StarCraft too. Look, we see that JF here going to go ahead and transfer probes. Everything pretty by the books, even the 1 additional probe there in the way to scare away any kind of all-in Ling Rush if that were to occur.
Yeah, but Sen is not going to be doing that. As we see, he's already got 3 hatches. The 3rd one at his natural, getting ready to really get some economy going. Lair has just started in his main base, and I like the position Sen is in here. You know, he's in a comfortable spot, and JF, I'm not sure that he knows the location of this 3rd base quite yet. He is scouting with that probe, and he obviously saw Draco against Sen because he scouts the position closest to him. It was the same positions in that matchup on this map, and he finds, in fact, Sen is switching up expansion locations, and his probe continues the never-ending journey.
The never-ending journey. It won't be like the never-ending story, because eventually we'll be killed by Lings. If he keeps looking around this map, because the speed upgrade is there. We do see a little bit of tension here outside the front of JF's base. He is going to spot this expansion. You know, speaking from Protoss experience, when you see a Zerg get a 3rd base, and it's going to be in a location where they can secure a 4th base as long as they keep that 3rd base alive, and that's what we're seeing here, you got to tell yourself, all right, this is going to be at least a 20-30 minute game. I'm not going to end this early unless the Zerg makes a mistake. So right now, JF's going to have to tell himself that he's going to need to have at least a lot of stamina moving into this match.
And I like what he's doing here. If we take a look at JF's main base real quick, he is going for a Stargate and a Citadel. This tells us that most likely what we're going to see, ever since there's no forge up. Oh, wait a minute, the forge has just started +1. So either we're going to see DT Sair, or we're going to see Sair into Zealot speed timing attack. Not exactly sure which one quite yet. Adding another gateway. I don't know, man, but I like this because the bases are spread out a little bit. And that... Oh, here we go. Speedlings in the natural, running right past the cannons and the Zealot. Jeff did not have that blocked off, and he may be in big trouble now.
These Lings can do a lot of damage here. They're going to go for the probes first. 1 probe down, 2 probes down. They could easily get 3. He's going to dart around. Remember, the Zergling's faster than the Zealot. In fact, he's going to try to go for the Zealot here. I'm a little bit surprised by that. But he is forcing the Dragoon and the Zealot back a little bit. All he has to do is delay the Protoss' economy a little bit, and actually very nice micro here by JF.
JF held that out brilliantly. He had to feel stupid to not have a probe on hold position next to that Zealot. Could have prevented this completely. Now Sen knows exactly what JF is up to. But, he held it very well once it was actually in his main base. He lost very little, only about 3 probes and some mining time. So I got to give him props there for really great micro under duress.
Under duress, that's a great word.
Yeah.
I was going to use another great word. You say very adroit play here by Sen for doing some harassment.
Don't push it, Tasteless.
Well, it's a great word.
You always got to show me up.
We're gonna get your SAT scores up so high when you watch these casts. Really though, nice maneuver there because he did some harassment. He got some intel. He has a good idea of what's going on. Now, for the Zerg, what you have to remember is that this is not a new strategy. This is not revolutionary. It actually fits Sen's style. He's a bit old school as far as the way he plays Protoss versus Zerg. He's sticking with that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more lurkers and sunken defense. Not often do we see Canes on this map, but we are going to see, okay, we see the lurker upgrade on the way at the Hydralisk Den.
That's right. Right now we have a DT from JF going down to that base, but guess what? The Sayers nowhere to be seen because of Scourge, and it looks like the Overlord's sunken placement going to chase that DT right out. This harassment has ended before it has begun.
Indeed it has, and we see a lot more drones here. Now this is the careful balance that we have to maintain here with the Zerg vs Protoss matchup. It's kind of a tightrope walk where you want to pump out as many drones as possible, but not overextend yourself to the point where suddenly Protoss can surprise you with a lot of units. So that's going to be the trick.
Well, we see that. I really like Sen's scouting right now with these Scourges kind of floating around, realizing that you know, there's like one Dragoon out on the map. Obviously, Sayers aren't going to come up and engage his Scourge, and in fact, JF not even making any more Sayers, getting Dragoon range right now.
Oh, wow.
Adding a bunch of gateways and a Robo, and you know, it's a good timing on the Robo because Lurker upgrade has just finished, and Sen has 5 hatch, so we're definitely going to see him switch over to units here momentarily. A lot of Lings already out on the map. Oh, an Evolution Chamber is up. He's getting +1 melee attack, getting his Queen's Nest. So, and also getting Overlord's speed, so he's going to be able to deal with those Dark Templars. And as that Overlord's speed finishes, I expect that he's going to go up there and try to get some sort of containment on. But JF, he may have a timing attack where he's out on the map before that.
This is a curious situation. As you probably remember, about a year ago, we were talking about this type of situation in Protoss versus Zerg when you first got to Korea, and maybe the best way to play it. And in my own philosophy, I always thought, because the Zerg can't make too many units, the best way to go about it is to do, I guess, what we would call the single-player approach of just trying to sneak out as many, you know, an extra Nexus and tech up to Reavers, because you are going to be in the late game. That might be the best way to play it. Instead of from what we're seeing from JF, especially because of the Dragoon range, we're going to see some type of timing attack where he might try to break the Zerg player. Now, this is a risky maneuver because if it doesn't work, Zerg gets the 4th base. Protoss struggles for the second expansion here, and it can be nightmarish. Let's see if it works out here.
Here we go. The timing attack is commencing, and JF, he has +1 attack. No upgrades yet for Sen, but he has Lurkers and Lings coming in. But there are 3 High Templars, a lot of Storms saved up. A nice flank here, and oh my, it looks like these Zerglings are going to crush through JF's army. He was not... Wait a minute. Are they? Yeah, they are. Okay, they are going to crush through this army as suspected.
This was a mistake here by JF. Look, he did kill the rest of the Zerg units here, but he's not going to win this war. He won the battle, but did not win the war. Yeah, and unfortunately now, as you can see here at the bottom left side of your screen, the Zerg takes the 4th base. And this is the whole problem for Protoss, is suddenly Protoss is almost twice as behind as he was before.
Yeah. I mean, even though JF didn't lose all of his army, it doesn't matter because Sen basically crushed the attack. The attack did not do anything. It cleared out some of the units that Sen had, but he has 5 hatch Ling coming up. His +1 has just finished, and he has to be feeling really quite confident at this point. He's got 1-1 now on his Lings. He's got a 4th base going up. A lot of Lings going up to the natural, and he could actually bust this extremely easily if he just goes.
Oh, what a weird situation we have here. He's actually going to dart up here. I wasn't expecting him to do that, but he is. This could actually be a blunder here by Sen, though, because I don't think he's going to take out anything significant. Even the Archon's going to complete 2 cannons taken out, but does anybody care? Because the Lings are still not doing any tremendous damage.
That's right. I really thought that Sen was going to just run by there, get into that main base, make those Zealots chase, and it looks like we have Lings hitting that base on 3 o'clock. Cleaning up those cannons, and he may be able to make this Nexus cancel, but I don't think so. JF being very quick with these speed lots. And let's see here, the Nexus health going down really low, and oh! I think he actually may have killed it.
I don't think he actually was able to cancel that in time. It's really unfortunate. This is all going down here for JF. JF could come back, but it would take a miracle right now. This is a very tough situation, and at this point in time, I really don't think that's going to happen. It's going to be all up to Sen making a big blunder here as he's going for Ultralisk, Sen upgrading the armor.
This is actually a dangerous time.
Yeah.
He is jumping tech so high, and JF has a lot more units right now, man. Excuse me, 126 supply against Sen's 76, so Sen has to hold on to this. Here we go, JF running into the natural base. Here comes Sen Zerglings, and JF, he may be able to bust this natural.
Oh my god, if he actually busts this, this would be a huge blunder by Sen, who essentially had this game. Obviously, he should have the Crackling upgrade, the Adrenal upgrade, here to take out these units. He should get enough
nice size storm.
Producing, but of course the drone's getting moved out of here as more Zerglings trying to slip into this base. If Sen cannot reinforce this and save this, this would be a huge upset. Note the Ultralisk Mound in range of attack here before the upgrade even completes. He could take it out. The Evolution Chamber under attack as well as Ultralisk being pinned down because no Zerglings are there to support them.
But they are flowing in from the other expansion. A lot of drones have been lost though, so JF, even though he hasn't gotten his third base up yet, still in an okay position. Sen, he is low on supply at 61, wow. But JF still up at 93, you know, about 30 less than when he started the attack. But of course, he has killed a lot of drones. JF right now, I don't know, man. He is making a Nexus over at 3. He has enough units there to defend, but his natural, he's got to be careful. He does not want to be run over right now by Ultra Ling. And I tell you what, Tasus, Ultra Ling is extremely good against Zealot armies.
Yeah, I've experienced that firsthand. My brother's day 9. I know, you're absolutely right. You got to be careful, though, if you're Sen right now, because he did suffer a lot of casualties with his drones. And if he's too aggressive right now and doesn't redevelop his economy, he might slip behind here. A little bit of miswiker here. There's an Ultralisk, apparently a little bit headstrong. See you in hell, Ultralisk. Bye.
It's strong to take you on, Dragoon.
I know. It's a Dragoon, man. That's the one thing Ultralisks aren't that good against. He's going to have to back up there.
Ultralisks aren't good against something?
Dragoons, man.
Ultralisks beat battle cruisers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, they have the Reaper jump upgrade. Shoot their little rocket packs in the air.
Oh, wait a minute. I see no drones in the main base over here. This is a little bit wild. And a DT.
Nice DT harass.
Yeah, that was a nice little sneak, and not even we saw it. Sen didn't see it. We didn't see it. But
hopefully you guys at home didn't see it in time.
Yeah, man. When we feel silly. JF right now, he's got a lot of units in the middle of the map. I do like his +2 attack upgrade, but it looks like Sen is going to pass him upgrade-wise. He's got +2 attack, +1 carapace. And JF, he's kind of spreading his army out too much in the middle of the map. Here comes Sen's army, and JF, man, he has been in trouble for quite some time, and he's in even more trouble now. A few goons in the middle of the map. This is not good against Ultra Ling. You need your entire army together,
I gotta hand
no matter what.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, I got to hand it to JF here. He actually could bounce back from this because right now Sen's making a lot of blunders. Losing way too many Ultras. Those things are damn expensive. Only true ballers can afford them. And right now, I don't know if he has enough money to afford throwing away Ultralisks like that.
Yeah, I don't know. And look at this. At the bottom left main base, Sen is going to be attacked by 2 DTs and a Zealot. And these drones making haste out of the base. This hatchery, it looks like it's going to go down, and JF, man, he is doing a great job of holding on here, despite Sen's really good play this game.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. JF, this is what makes JF such a good Protoss player outside Korea, is that he is so resilient when he gets behind. He knows how to angle himself in a position where he can recover.
Yeah.
Taking out that 4th base is exactly what he needed to do. And he's taken every advantage he can possibly get. Now I have to say, let's look at Sen's drones. If you get a shot of all of Sen's drones on the map, total, it's actually pretty small. I mean, he has some at that 3rd base of his, but for the most part, I mean, it's weak. Which means if JF actually gets one good big attack over here with a balanced army, it could easily be GG. And we see an attack over here at the 3rd base for JF. The cannons are going to have to come into play here.
Really well-placed cannons, I have to say. Those Ultras having a hard time. Probes coming in, blocking a little bit. But the Zerglings getting in there, getting their hits in on the cannons. And JF, he is going to have to get down there, either save the Nexus, counterattack, do something, pin those Ultras in there, erase them from the game. You need to do something here, JF. You are in trouble right now.
Okay, he's closing in on his expansion. Now, I don't know if this is a mistake here by Sen, because it frankly looks like he's actually allowed his own units to get trapped in this location. The Nexus, no, this is definitely a mistake here by Sen, as these units are going to be picked out. either the main expansion or the secondary expansion. They're going to be under heavy heat here. Very hot heat. Hottest heat.
The hottest of all heats,
It's
man.
going to be hot. I think I'm sweating right now. No, seriously, he could very easily lose the whole game because of this. You can see even Sen knows that he's throwing up a second colony here at this expansion, and JF is going to close in right now onto this main expansion.
This is bad for Sen. Oh man, JF though, he does not have a mining naturally. His main is almost out as well. And it looks like JF is going to overrun Sen. Really impressive play. I really felt like Sen was ahead for most of the game despite some supply differences we saw. JF's timings were not working out for him. But at the end, Sen's blunder going up that ramp, he really should have just... he shouldn't have lost that fourth base, to be perfectly honest with you, Tasteless. JF wins the first game.
Well played, JF. I don't know what else to say. Sen was simply put outplayed by JF's very clever style.
Was indeed. Well, we're going to go on to map 2, and that map is going to be Destination. Why don't you tell us about Destination, Tasteless?
It's a great map. I think one of the best maps actually ever made in StarCraft 1 history.
Yeah.
It makes for a lot of different play styles. It is a one-on-one map. We do see some very interesting games. I think it's one of the more balanced maps out of the StarCraft scene that we've seen, considering how much dynamic play it does offer.
Yeah, we see some really exciting, awesome games here. And, you know, I'm sorry, I have to bounce back to that game for a moment. My brain is almost melted from the weirdness in that game.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough how well played JF.
Yeah, the thing is, his first timing attack, at the time of that, I'm like, well, this is not going to work, and you don't have a third base making, so this is really not a good idea. And, I mean, it didn't work. Yeah, he killed some Lings, but Sen then took a fourth base and was in great position. If it wasn't for JF's constant DT drops, the game definitely would have gone Sen's way. So, you know, total props to him. I am quite impressed by JF in that game. It really did look like, you know, just strategically, map advantage-wise, everything was going Sen's way, except for those drops that really screwed up his economy.
Well, it's all about the harassment at that point in time. That's the only way Protoss can overcome the opposing player. It's not going to be in some weird macro game when you're that behind. Yeah, JF definitely played well. I think Sen might be a little bit shaken up by Game 1 because, frankly, in every way possible, Sen had the lead there. He had the opportunity. JF was basically rocked, and JF actually had some kind of hero comeback. And at this point in time, it's going to be up to Sen to really show us all that he can actually be a better player that he showed us he was early on in that first game.
Well, you know what? If Sen was a Pokemon, he'd be a rock type. This guy has been a pillar in our community for so long, and I think he has what it takes, Tasteless. So let's get going into game number 2.
Let's do it.